guys, and welcome to my channel. In this episode, we're going to be exploring how to make seasoned and roasted potatoes. It's quite easy and so simple, and it tastes so darn good. I hope you enjoy this presentation, and I hope you feel comfortable enough to try out this recipe all on your own. So stay tuned, and here
Just getting my potatoes ready here. I have the oven that just beeped, which means it's ready. I have my oven on at 400 degrees, and I'm just getting some potatoes ready to go into the oven. So before I do so, I usually just give them a nice scrub because these potatoes are going to be cooked with the skin. So yeah, they're about 6 medium-sized potatoes here right now, and we're going to be roasting them. So I just give it a good scrub, get all the extra dirt off.
So for me, I found it super easy after I washed them to cut them into half and then cut that half into half again and then cut that single, that 1/8 piece, I cut it into three. So I was able to get, say, so there's, for each half, I was able to get 6 cubes of potato, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, that's what happened right there. I was able to do that. So we're now going to be transferring those diced potatoes into a nice size mixing bowl, preferably one with a wider mouth there, so that you'll be able to mix and incorporate things a lot easier. Next, we're going to move straight into seasoning this. So first thing first, we're going to start with some minced ginger. I'm going to be using a half a teaspoon of minced ginger. As you can see here, I'm just clearing off a spot on the side where I can put that ginger down in that bowl. So I put half a teaspoon of that in there. Next, we're going to go in with some minced garlic. We're going to use half a teaspoon of that as well. The next ingredient would be garlic powder. We're going to use half a teaspoon of garlic powder as well. We put that off to the side there. Next, we're going in with onion powder. We're going to also be using a half a teaspoon of that. And the next ingredient is smoked paprika. I tend to use about a quarter to a half a teaspoon of that. It's not hot or anything, so don't be shy to use it. Next, we're going in with some parsley flakes. I'd say about a full teaspoon. I actually had to shake from the bottle because I found it a bit hard to get out. So I went right in with that. And our next ingredient is going to be lemon juice. We're going in with some lemon juice here. This is like a key ingredient. So we're going in with 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So you could pour that right onto the mixture right there. It's fine. It doesn't hurt it. It actually helps to get everything started to be incorporated. I actually went in with not 2, but 5 teaspoons of lemon juice. Yeah, lemon juice is a key ingredient in this whole roasted potato recipe. So if you like lemon, don't be shy to use it. So then I'm going in with some rosemary, some dried rosemary leaves. I probably went in with a half a teaspoon as well. And that's fine to go right on to those other seasonings. And we're just about getting ready to incorporate all those spices. But can you imagine that amount of flavor that's being incorporated right there is going to be going right on into the potatoes when they go into the oven to roast. So yeah, that gives it a depth of flavor as well. So with our chicken base, I'm going to be going in. So I'm going to be going in at this point with 3 teaspoons of chicken base concentrate. That's sufficient for this portion of potatoes that we're going to be seasoning here in this instant. So I'm going to be adding 3 teaspoons, this is the last of 3, into there just to give it that flavor that I'm looking for as well. So we're going to mix those ingredients together. One more thing goes in here at this point, and that's going to be some olive oil. So we're going to be placing some olive oil in here. We're going to be using, in this case, extra virgin olive oil. You can use whichever oil that you have, preferably olive oil. I find it does the right thing to these potatoes in the oven, and it doesn't taste like anything specific. So in this instance, I'm going to be putting in, I'll say about 3 to 4 teaspoons of olive oil. In this case, I use 3 teaspoons, and then we're going to give the seasonings a good mix. This, all the lemon juice, all those dried seasonings, and the ginger and the garlic. We're going to mix that in pretty good, and then we're going to fully start submerging our potatoes into that mixture. But before we do that, I'm going to be adding some coriander leaves. I have 2 bunches here that I just crushed up together, and I'm just going to be mincing that right on over those potatoes. And yeah, that's going to give it a hint of that flavor that coriander naturally gives, as well as the color, that nice little minced green color that shines through when this is all baked or prior to even baking. It just gives it a great appearance. So I then go in with my spatula and I incorporate all those ingredients, mixing from the bottom up, because as you know, all my seasoning is sitting at the bottom of this bowl here. So we're going to give it a nice stir. Make sure everything is coated and covered nicely. You can tell by the way the potatoes start to glisten and by the way everything starts looking inside of your bowl. So you just give it a mix and don't be shy to do so. Next, we're going to get a baking tray. And for me, I prefer to use, to line my baking tray with foil paper. So that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm just putting a sheet of foil paper right onto my baking tray. I'm just securing it into the tray there to make sure that's level. Next, I'm going right on in with the potatoes. I'm going to scrape off all the excess seasoning onto it. All that's in my bowl, I'm just going to kind of drizzle that off onto the potatoes that you see there on that baking sheet. And then I'm going to take my spatula and try and spread these potatoes on out so that they're not bunched up on each other. They're supposed to be laying nice and flat on this baking sheet with enough space so that they can cook and not stressed out by being clumped up together. So yeah, if you can evenly distribute this all over. So we're gonna be taking these over to get them baked now that they're seasoned. You saw how I seasoned them all up and got them ready. So we're gonna just be putting them in the oven. And we're gonna set on medium rack. And we're gonna set a timer. It's at 400 degrees, by the way. We're gonna set a timer for 40 minutes, 45 minutes actually. And we'll be checking it at that point. So the timer for the potatoes just went off. So I'm just going to be taking them out. And they look pretty good. I'm just gonna have to give them a toss. They're pretty much done. I'm gonna turn the oven off. So the roasted potatoes are they're done. They're nice and ready. I just gave them a stir to get them off of the foil. I like using foil because, you know, this kind of staining would have happened on the pan, and I don't like to deal with all that. So it's easy to throw the foil out after. So the only thing I'm going to put on here at this point is a little bit of parsley flakes, just to bring a nice little hint of color back to it. And that's all it needs actually. And give it a stir again. It's very soft. The potatoes are cooked. As you can see, it's soft. You can almost make mash with it to how it's soft. See? It's well cooked.